pray my 5 daily. Top half. Welcome back to the Stinkerunke. First thing to sort of say is these vids at the minute might be a little crap, maybe a little, forced or a little rubbish, but I genuinely nearly gave up after day one, but I thought since in day one I literally said you got to break the ice and just keep going and then you'll find the fruits eventually, so I kind of got to do that myself, so I'm just going to keep going and hopefully today's thing is sort of focusing on Qur'an because شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. If you excel in one thing, you should try and excel in Qur'an. Now, I feel like Qur'an is in people's head is sort of limited to just reading it. So people will set a target to just sort of read the Qur'an and not really do much else to that. But I feel like Qur'an has it's a 3-dimensional thing, and you should try and see it like that. So in terms of like, you can read the Qur'an, you can listen to the Qur'an, you can see the tafsir of the Qur'an. Yeah, so all three of those are sort of interlinked, and we should try to do all three of them. I feel like listening to the Qur'an, you can get really intimate with it. So, and I feel like setting the scene when listening to Qur'an is important. So I've said this in another advice video about sort of like listening to it whilst you're sleeping, or you've just had a bath and sit down and let a waft of air come in and listen to it and sort of try and deep it, because it's much more than just listening to it and it's just words. Just try and deep it. And also when looking at the translation, actually look at it and like deep it. You've got to think about it 3-dimensionally. Like, everyone's done English literature in GCSE, and you know how like you can just read a verse or a poem or whatnot, and there are so many dimensions to it. I'll give you one, which is Surah Takathur. I feel is a very deep one. To be honest, all the small surahs are so deep, but Takathur is a really good one. So Alhaakum Takathur, you are transgressed in accumulating. So first of all, the fact that it's just left at accumulating and nothing more is kind of telling us that you're transgressed in accumulating, and that could be accumulating money, children, cars, loads of different things in dunya. You just accumulate. That's what you do. You just accumulate. That's all you're transgressing. I just want more. حتى زرتم المقابر, until you visit the graves. And this is like where the sort of translation comes into 3 dimensions. So until you visit the graves, that could actually be you physically visiting a dead person. That's when that sort of hits you and you're like, rah, I'm just transgressed in all this accumulation. But also the deeper alternative to that is حتى زرتم المقابر, until you visit the grave, as in you personally get into the grave. When you visit the grave, that's it, it's done.
I guess all the way wrong.
Huh?
I think the deeper one is visiting.
You think the deeper one's visiting? See, there you go. Have communications. Ask, like, do you ever feel the need to like share an ayah with your friend and be like, rah, look at this? Because I know you're sharing the J-Hoss lyrics, but yeah, you don't really discuss it, and there's like so much discussion. And then it carries on. It's warning you about it. But just like 2 ayahs, you are transgressed. Like, you should read that and deep it. Like, what am I transgressing in, accumulating? Like, if you're as old as, if your granny is like us, you're sort of getting into the whole money thing. Money's like the motivator of all things in the minute, and you're just trying to scramble for it. So, like, when you read that, you should take a step back. You shouldn't be reading like, you should be trying to deep it, because it is deep. Yeah, so 2 alternatives to that, which is you could until you are in the grave, or until you visit the graves. And so, when was the last time you visited the grave? Like, when you read an ayah and you deep it, you should try and do that thing. I haven't visited a grave in a very long while, to be
Or is
honest.
it the Prophet used to do it regularly? Was it every week, something like that? I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything because I don't know about
That's
that.
it, every few days, man.
But yeah, so it's really important to kind of, and then at the same time when you listen to the Qur'an, try and deep it in. You know, listening to the Qur'an, like back in the day, the kuffar would just listen to it and it would just put them in another dimension, even though they don't believe. And you need to get to that sort of level that you can listen to it and sort of deep it, just like you deep the Drake lyrics when you listen to them and you've just gone through a breakup. Yeah, I'm not saying that, but seriously, like it should affect you, and you should let it affect you. And sometimes, as I said before about breaking the ice, if it doesn't affect you first time, do it again, and do it again until it starts affecting you, because we've hardened our hearts throughout the year, so they need to be softened, and what better way to soften them through the words of Allah. So be connected to the Qur'an. As I said before, in the second one, I said set goal targets. Say you're going to read 20 pages and do it. Don't be like, oh, it's hard, I can't do it, I'm not feeling, I just read 20 pages and that's it. Do it 5 times, do it in 5 days, and you'll start to expand, you'll start to develop, and it will get to the next stage. Like you will want to know what it means, you will want to listen to it more, etc. You can't stay static. This one's been too long, so I'm gonna keep it at that. I've got anything to say, bro.